Last time on Pride and Prejudice.
Mr. Bennet was among the earliest of those who waited on Mr. Bingely. She is a selfish, hypocritical woman, and I have no opinion of her. It sounds like you have an opinion of her. Have a little compassion on my nerves. You tear them to pieces. Oh, I hope this is a running theme. What say you, Mary? For you are a young lady of deep reflection, I know, and read great books, and make extracts. So, you deeply reflect. You read great books. You make extracts. Are they almond? Are they of words? We don't know yet, but she makes them great. But, you're basic. Alright, let us go on to chapter 3. Not all did Mrs. Bennet, however, with the assistance of her 5 daughters. I don't know why I was about to say dollars. The assistance of her $5. That's fair. $5 could get you a lot back then. It's true. Green says $5 would have definitely been enough for chicken nuggies back then. That's true. Mrs. Bennet, with her 5 chicken nuggets, was ready to face the day. Alright, let us continue. Not all that Mrs. Bennet, however, with the assistance of her $5, could ask on the subject was sufficient to draw from her husband any satisfactory description of Mr. Bingely. They attacked him in various ways, with barefaced questions, ingenious suppositions, and distant surmises. That's amazing. They attacked him in various ways. I'm just imagining this, like, superimposed over a fight scene. It's just like, alright, they attack in various ways. Barefaced questions, ingenious suppositions, and then distant surmises, and someone in the back with a sniper, or something like that. Anyways. They attacked him in various ways, with barefaced questions, ingenious suppositions, and distant surmises. But he eluded the skill of them all, and they were at last obliged to accept the second-hand intelligence of their neighbour, Lady Lucas. Her report was highly favourable. Sir William had been delighted with him. He was quite young, wonderfully handsome, extremely agreeable, and to crown the whole, he meant to be at the next assembly with a large party. Nothing could be more delightful. To be fond of dancing was a certain step towards falling in love, and very lively hopes of Mr. Bingley's heart were entertained. I am curious, because, like, I know that this is a romance, and so I'm curious if, like, at the time that this was published, that people knew it was a romance, and that this was kind of a bait and switch, that you're like, alright, here's Mr. Bingley, it's our boy, and then he's not our boy. I don't know if they thought about things that way back then. It also is like, oh yeah, he's young, he's handsome, he's agreeable, and best of all, he likes to party. I am sure it just means, like, they want to meet him at the assembly, and so they're like, yes, he's coming to the assembly. But it sounds like he likes to party as the best thing, which is kind of hilarious. I can but see. One of my daughters happily settled at Netherfield, said Mrs. Bennet to her husband, and all the others equally well married. I shall have nothing to wish for. In a few days, Mr. Bingley returned Mr. Bennet's visit, and sat about 10 minutes with him in his library. He had entertained hopes of being admitted to a sight of the young ladies, of whose beauty he had heard much, but he saw only the father. The ladies were somewhat more fortunate, for they had the advantage of ascertaining from an upper window that he wore a blue coat and rode a black horse. That's amazing. They were more fortunate, because they had the advantage of snooping through the window. Delightful. An invitation to dinner was soon afterward dispatched, and already had Mrs. Bennet planned the courses that were to do credit to her housekeeping, when an answer arrived which deferred it all. Mr. Bingley was obliged to be in town the following day, and consequently unable to accept the honour of their invitation, and Mrs. Bennet was quite disconcerted. She could not imagine what business he could have in town so soon after his arrival in Hertfordshire. and she began to fear that he might be always flying about from one place to another, and never settled at Netherfield as he ought to be. Lady Lucas quieted her fears a little by starting the idea of his being gone to London, only to get a large party for the ball, and a report soon followed that Mr. Bingely was to bring 12 ladies and 7 gentlemen with him to the assembly. The girls grieved over such a number of ladies, but were comforted the day before the ball by hearing that instead of 12, he had only brought 6 with him from London, his 5 sisters and a cousin. And when the party entered the assembly room, it consisted of only 5 altogether: Mr. Bingely, his 2 sisters, the husband of the eldest, and another young man. I'm looking for him. Is the other young man Mr. Darcy, or is he somebody just a red shirt? Mr. Bingely was good-looking and gentlemanlike. He had a pleasant countenance and easy, unaffected manners. His sisters were fine women, with an air of decided fashion. His brother-in-law, Mr. Hurst, merely looked the gentleman, but his friend, I was right, Mr. Darcy, soon drew the attention of the room by his fine, tall person, handsome features, noble mind, and the report which was in general circulation within 5 minutes after his entrance of his having 10,000 a year. I love that. General circulation within 5 minutes of his entrance. Incredible. The gentleman pronounced him to be a fine figure of a man. The ladies declared he was much handsomer than Mr. Bingely, and he was looked at with great admiration for about half the evening, till his manners gave a disgust which turned the tide of his popularity. That's right. This is something I've heard, that he is he's kind of mean. He's kind of, or maybe not mean. He's either awkward or mean or blunt. One of those things. So his manners gave a disgust which turned the tide of his popularity, for he was discovered to be proud. Aha! So he's the proud one, and she's the prejudiced one. He was discovered to be proud, to be above his company, and above being pleased. He's above everybody in the room, and he's just generally above being happy. That's just not something he does. Love it. Yeah, Bingley was rich. Darcy is rich. And above his company, and above being pleased. And not all his large estate in Derbyshire could then save him from having a most forbidding, disagreeable countenance, and being unworthy to be compared with his friend. That's amazing. Yeah, he's super rich. He's got a great house, but none of that compares that he's a rude little dude. He can have that third zero. Yes, exactly. I think that's so funny though, that they're all that seems to be, especially what all that Mrs. Bennet cares about is my daughters get married, they get married rich. And he's super rich, and so it's kind of interesting that she isn't I don't care if he's rude, he's rich, go for him. You know, they're just he's super rich, he's more rich than Mr. Bingely. And then it's he just says one slightly rude comment, and they're like, he's not the one, he's not for you. Yeah, exactly. We have found the proud, everybody. We have found the pride to this prejudice. Mr. Bingely had soon made himself acquainted with all the principal people in the room. He was lively and unreserved, danced every dance, was angry that the ball closed so early. Oh, I don't know why that's so funny to me. This is top tier. This is the man that you want. You want your man to be angry that the ball closes early. I love that. I just saw when my coquette walks up. Nice day, isn't it? It was nicer a moment ago. Cancelled. amazing. He was lively and unreserved, danced every dance, was angry that the ball closed so early, and talked of giving one himself at Netherfield. Such amiable qualities much as I don't know, this is so funny to me, but just like, the amiable, like, you want a man who's gonna party all night. This is top tier. This is the man that you want.
But why is the rum gone?
Yeah, Bingely real dense to bring his hot, rude, rich friend to his looking for a wife shindig as well. Oh, that's amazing. How many words is that? Looking for a wife shindig. It's 5 words. Looking for a wife shindig to submit as a prompt. Oh, incredible. I mean, that's kind of the question though, like, because the first line was like, oh yeah, universally understood that he wants a wife. The question is that like Mrs. Bennet sees him and they're like, it's like the laser eyes and she's like, eligible bachelor acquired. Or if it's like, yes, this is my party. I'm here to find a wife. I'm looking out for her, you know? Miss Bingley, daughter, mother, cousin. They said that he had sisters and a cousin, and only 2 of them came. Only 2 of the ladies came to the party, so I don't know which one it is. Oh, it's a sister, of course. Okay. What a contrast between him and his friend. Mr. Darcy danced only once with Mrs. Hurst, and once with Miss Bingley. Declined... Oh, I see, that's what you saw. And once with Miss Bingley. Declined being introduced to any other lady, and spent the rest of the evening walking around the room, speaking occasionally to one of his own party. Yeah, that's a very spooky one, but those are the laser eyes I was thinking of. I just saw the caption, heavy breathing. I got 5 daughters. Oh my goodness. Oh, crazy. I'm being introduced to any other lady and spend the rest of the evening in walking around the room, speaking occasionally to one of his own party. I mean, right now he just sounds like an introvert, man. Like, he just sounds like, he's like, I don't really want to introduce myself to everyone. I'm just gonna hang out with the people that I know. And he might come off as a little rude sometimes, because, you know, he don't know how to interact very well, you know. I'm not seeing too much to hate so far. Oh, the next line. Speaking occasionally to one of his own party. His character was decided. He was the proudest. He's the proudest, everybody. You get it? He's the proudest, most disagreeable man in the world, and everybody hoped that he would never come there again. Amongst most violent against him was Mrs. Bennet, whose dislike of his general behavior was sharpened into particular resentment by his having slighted one of her daughters. Ooh, I see whose name is next. I'm ready for this. This is gonna be fun. Yeah, Norman says, is it weird that I kind of think it'd be fun to piss off a room full of people that badly? Exactly. He's making a much stronger impression than Mr. Bingely. I give you wife. You give us financial security. Fair trade, exactly. Elizabeth Bennet had been obliged by the scarcity of gentlemen. We don't, our crop of gentlemen, it ain't good this year. We don't have a good harvest of gentlemen this year. Elizabeth Bennet had been obliged by the scarcity of gentlemen to sit down for 2 dances, and during part of that time, Mr. Darcy had been standing near enough for her to overhear a conversation between him and Mr. Bingley, who came from the dance for a few minutes to press his friend to join it. "Come, Darcy," said he, "I must have you dance. I hate to see you standing about by yourself in this stupid manner. You had much better dance." "I certainly shall not. You know how I detest it, unless I am particularly acquainted with my partner. At such an assembly as this, it would be insupportable. Your sisters are engaged, and there is not another woman in this room whom it would not be a punishment to me to stand up with.
I mean,
this is the most insulting line for sure. Now I'm seeing the disagreeableness in the last line here. It would be, I would not be so fastidious as you are, cried Bingely. For a kingdom! Upon my honour, I never met with so many pleasant girls in my life as I have this evening, and there are several of them you see uncommonly pretty. You are dancing with the only handsome girl in the room, said Mr. Darcy, looking at the eldest Miss Bennet. I'm curious who that is. I assume it's not Elizabeth. So it must be Kitty, Jane. It's not Lydia. So we have Elizabeth, Kitty, Jane, Lydia. Who's the other one? Have we been introduced to their name? Yeah, that 10 a year is going to the guy's head, totally. Oh yeah, Jane was the pretty one. Okay, so Jane must be the oldest one that he's dancing with. Oh, she's the most beautiful creature I ever beheld. But there's one of her sisters sitting down just beside you, who is very pretty, and I dare say, very agreeable. Do let me ask my partner to introduce you. Oh, it's so funny, this whole, the manners of introducing you. It's like, she's sitting right there. You can't say hi, though. You need to be introduced. What do you mean? And turning around, he looked for a moment at Elizabeth, until, catching her eye, he withdrew his own and coldly said, She is tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me. And I am in no humour at present to give consequence to young ladies who are slighted by other men. You had better return to your partner and enjoy her smiles, for you are wasting your time with me. Oh, okay, so I was confused about the slighted by other men line, but I think he's saying, nobody's dancing with her. So, she's been slighted by the other men, so, she's kind of the bottom of the barrel right now, and I ain't dancing with her. Oh, yeah. Calling a woman the most beautiful creature. Can't tell if it's flattering or insulting. I guess it kind of depends on the time. I kind of assumed that it's genuinely meant as a compliment, but it could be, an objectifying even for that time. I do like the enjoy her smiles. That is kind of cute. Instead of just enjoy her company or, go hang out with your pretty girl, it's enjoy her smiles. There's some poeticism here. Yeah. Totally. You can't talk to them without being introduced. How do I get introduced then? You have to find someone who knows them. How do I do that? You have to be introduced. Totally. Exactly. I should look up the customs at this time. That is one of those things I wasn't thinking about looking up beforehand, but it could be helpful to know a little more concretely. Okay, here's how things worked back then. Yeah, exactly. I will not be tempted. I bet later in the book he will be tempted. Totally. Mr. Bingely followed his advice. Mr. Darcy walked off, and Elizabeth remained with no very cordial feelings towards him. She told the story, however, with great spirit among her friends, for she had a lively, playful disposition, which delighted in anything ridiculous. Okay, yeah, so she didn't no very cordial feelings. At the very least, she doesn't feel good about him, if not feeling actively bad about him. But she still thinks it's a funny story. She is worthy. She is worthy of the title of main character. The evening altogether passed off pleasantly to the whole family. Mrs. Bennet had seen her eldest daughter much admired by the Netherfield party. Every time I see that word, I think it's Netherlands, and I'm always just a little bit away from saying Netherlands. I apologize if I slip up at some point in the book. Anyways. Yes, exactly. Darcy makes fun of her, and she goes to her friends get a load of this asshole. Exactly. I love it. She could hold her head high and not be oh, he didn't like me. She's just oh man, what an asshole. Mrs. Bennet had seen her eldest daughter much admired by the Netherfield party. Mr. Bingely had danced with her twice, and she had been distinguished by her sisters. Jane was as much gratified by this as her mother could be, though in a quieter way. Elizabeth felt Jane's pleasure. Mary's the other one, okay. Mary had heard herself mentioned to Miss Bingley as the most accomplished girl in the neighborhood, and Catherine and Lydia had been fortunate enough to be never without partners, which was all that they had yet learned to care for at a ball. Mary, Lydia, Elizabeth, Jane, Kitty. Who's Catherine? Oh, Catherine must be Kitty. That must be her actual name. Interesting. Okay. The Netherfield sounds like some Stargate-esque portal to a hell realm. Totally. The Netherfield. That's gonna be my headcanon until it's undoubtedly proven wrong that, like, that Netherfield is just some hell dimension that he lives in. It's like the... Is it called the Nether? Yeah, the Nether in Minecraft. It's just... Yeah, I live there with zombie pigmen. Like, they won't bother you, don't worry. And that's why he likes to party. He doesn't want to go home to the Netherfield. Yes, Catherine Kitty. I got you now. I don't know why that feels like such a modern nickname to me. That's so cute. I love that they had that back then. That they. Yeah, exactly. It sounds real obvious when you break it down like that. They returned, therefore, in good spirits to Longbourn, the village where they lived, and, of course, they were the principal inhabitants. Why is that of course? Of course, our main characters are the principal inhabitants. They found Mr. Bennet still up found Mr. Bennet still up. With a book, he was regardless of time, and on the present occasion he had a good deal of curiosity as to the event of an evening which had raised such splendid expectations. He had rather hoped that all his wife's views on the stranger would be disappointed, but he soon found that he had a very different story to hear. Ooh, I thought I was going to say she had a very different story to tell, and so I thought I read it wrong. Mr. Bennet, it seems like he's always like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. But, you know, like, if you wanted to just, like, tell the story and I happened to be here, I'd be cool with that. Oh, my dear Mr. Bennet, as she entered the room, we have had a most delightful evening, a most excellent ball. I wish you had been there. Jane was so admired. Nothing could be like it. Everybody said how well she looked, and Mr. Bingley thought her quite beautiful, and danced with her twice. Only think of that, my dear. He actually danced with her twice, and she was the only creature in the room that he asked a second time. First of all, he asked Miss Lucas. I was so vexed to see him stand up with her, but, however, he did not admire her at all. Indeed, nobody can, you know. Oh, that's there's another bird. Yeah, he didn't admire her because nobody can admire her. Oh, man. And I'm just imagining, like, he goes over to Miss Lucas, and, like, Mrs. Bennet just, like, scowls from the corner, and then he goes up to Jane, and she, like, switches. It's the, like, kind of thing. Even Mom calling the pretty on a creature savage, yeah. That's kind of what makes me wonder if that's just, like, something they said, is they called people creatures back then. It could be, because, like, creature is, like, I don't know why my light keeps doing that. Creature in its essence just means created thing. And so especially, like, I think this is at the time where, like, Christianity is still prevalent. I might be wrong about that. I mean, it was prevalent in a lot of eras. And so it could just be, like, it could be intended to be honoring or just saying, like, she's a created thing. Instead of, like, talking down to her as if she's an animal or something like that. Yeah, fair enough. Norman says, it's meant to be endearing. It just feels very much of its time. Don't know how well it would land nowadays. Probably not well. However, he did not admire her at all. Indeed, nobody can, you know. and he seemed quite struck with Jane as she was going down the dance. So he inquired who she was and got introduced and asked her for the 2 next. Then the 2 third he danced with Miss King, and the 2 fourth with Maria Lucas, and the 2 fifth with Jane again, and the 2 sixth with Lizzie, and the boulanger? I don't know how to pronounce that. Oh yeah, so I guess the introduction thing maybe isn't exactly what I thought, because like I was totally thinking of it as Mako said, that it's like, okay, you can't ask her to dance until you've been introduced. But I guess like he could ask her to dance, but he still needed to be introduced later. But Mr. Darcy had to be introduced to Liz to dance with her, so I don't know. Boulanger. Okay, gotcha. If he had any compassion for me, cried her husband impatiently, he would not have danced half so much. For God's sake, say no more of his partners. Oh, that he had sprained his ankle in the first dance. We got another fun spelling, boys. Oh, my dear, continued Mrs. Bennet, I am quite delighted with him. He is so excessively handsome, and his sisters are charming women. I never in my life saw anything more elegant than their dresses. I dare say the lace upon Mrs. Hurst's gown. Here she was interrupted again, and Mr. Bennet protested against any description of finery. And she was therefore obliged to seek another branch of the subject, and related with much bitterness of spirit, and some exaggeration, the shocking rudeness of Mr. Darcy. But I can assure you, she added, that Lizzie does not lose much by not suiting his fancy, for he is a most disagreeable, horrid man, not at all worth pleasing, so high and so conceited that there was no enduring him. He walked here, and he walked there, fancying himself so very great, not handsome enough to dance with. I wish you had been there, my dear, to have given him one of your set-downs. I quite detest the man. It reminds me of when the Game Grumps played Horse Club Adventures. I was just rewatching it, and when the like snooty girl shows up, they don't actually give a good reason for why they don't like her, especially because it's badly translated. It just says like, yeah, we don't like her because she always carries on about this or that.
All she does is carry on about this or that. That's why we don't want to have anything to do with her. So off to the cafe. That's like the most innocent thing you could ever say about somebody. All she does is carry on about this or that.
That's gonna be my new like response to people that are
But doesn't
uncool.
that feel like a more intense burn?
All they do is carry on about this or that.
It's like, what?
It's very like belittling to the carrying on.
Yeah. It's like, but yeah, so do you.
And this has those kinds of vibes that it's like, he walked here and he walked there and he's just the worst, you know? Oh, amazing. Well, hello, dear viewer. You have reached the end of the video. So this is but a smaller part of a much larger video. A lot of my readings of classical literature were done in the form of a live stream, and I decided to go over those live streams and edit the videos into smaller, more digestible one-chapter videos. So if you would like to keep watching more of this edited content, then there should be a playlist on screen somewhere. I might put a little card for the next chapter. If you would like to watch the full live stream, then that should also be in a card right now and or in the description. So thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, I would appreciate even more if you would give the video a like, if you would comment on it, if you would subscribe to my channel overall, maybe even ring that little bell. But any support that you can give me and my channel is deeply appreciated. I'd love to know in the comments what you liked about the video, what you thought was funniest about it, what was your favorite joke from it. This was originally streamed at A Moth in the Archive on Twitch. I stream there every Saturday for the writing group. We have a prompt every week and write 350-word microfiction for it. I read some of the stories from the community live on Twitch on Saturday, so you can check that out. And then, of course, I also do reading content like this over there. If you like my reaction content, I also have a reaction channel where I react to like movies and TV shows that is called A Moth in the Theater. So go check that out. If you would like to see me play and or react to video games, then A Moth in the Arcade is the place for you. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this and I hope that you watch some more. So I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. FYI, that awesome new thumbnail art that you see was commissioned from Arandanity, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, on Twitter or X. This person was an absolute joy to work with, so if you're looking for someone to commission, please consider commissioning them.
Oh, kitty. Do you want out, baby? I can't tell. Oh, you gonna hack?
Yeah. Norman says, I was just thinking, and I know this isn't where the story's going, but it would be friggin' hilarious if this whole book was like Waiting for Godot, and the rumored rich bachelor actually doesn't exist and never actually shows up. That would be awesome. The whole book is just different variations of, when are we going to meet Mr. Bingely? And then Mr. Bingely doesn't even exist. Yeah, Waiting for Pride and Prejudice. Just more people showing up in his waiting lounge and we never meet him.
Okay, you do want out? You do want out? Sweetie pie?
Devolves into a kidnapping mystery. They all try to figure out who did away with Mr. Bingely. He was never there in the first place. The whole first part is just like, wow, when's Mr. Bingely gonna show up? And then partway through they're like, Mr. Bingely, he hasn't shown up. He must have been kidnapped. And the rest becomes like this grand like mystery plot trying to find out, and he just was never there. Incredible.
Oh, did you come back to sneeze, sweetie? Hi, Cubo. You wanna come sit with me? You wanna come sit with me, kitty? Well, I guess you can if you want.
Alright.
Oh, baby, what you doing?
Can I show you? Oh, no, he moved. His butt was in the air. It was funny.
But that's the bow. But that's the bow. So cute.